But now the offense stays on the field. The Giants are going for two. They're going for the win with 1:06 to play.
Now listen, if it pans out, it's the gutsiest call of all time.
What's going on, Giants fans, Giants family, Giants Nation, Big Blue Nation? What's going on? So it has come to my attention for a while now that New York Giants fans are stubborn. I'm stubborn. You're stubborn. We are all stubborn people. You know, I jump around from stream to stream on YouTube, listen to other Giants content creators, especially when they're doing their lives, because I'd like to hop in the comment section. I like to see what the people are talking about. I'm the people, you're the people. I like to see what everybody is talking about. I like to see what the vibe is in the building. I like to take the temperature of the room. I like to do that. Of course, I have my own opinion about certain situations, and you have yours. Some people agree with me, some people don't. I appreciate everybody that comments down below, because there's a lot of people that don't agree with me, and there's also a lot of people that do. And I don't need you to feel the same way that I feel. Why would I do that? Why would I want to be in the echo chamber? And there's echo chambers on both sides. There's people that believe that the draft was the worst draft ever. There's people that believe that this draft was a home run. Me personally, and I noticed after the fact that when I did my video about the grades for the draft picks, the way too early grades for the draft pick, I never gave an overall draft grade. And for me right now, I've been sitting at a B-. I think I'm going to be at a B- for a little bit longer. We'll see what happens. I saw the UDFA list, and to me, I know I said I would do a video about the UDFA list, but in all actuality, not too many names to talk about. Not too many names to talk about. I'll go ahead and put the list up here so you guys can see it and read off those names. But not a lot of guys to talk about. Wide receivers, picked up a quarterback, picked up a defensive lineman, this, that, and the third. A lot of tryouts are going to happen, but really nothing too much to talk about. What we can talk about is how we disagree on what we think these draft picks are going to be. I went down my list of, you know, the players that I like versus players that I didn't. And it's not like I didn't like some of these draft picks flat out. No, that's not true. I will say this. At the time that we picked some of these players, there were some other players on the board in my opinion, not on the Giants board that I felt like could help the team a little bit more. But again, we'll see what happens. And as the days go by, we're 2 days outside of the draft. As the days go by, I'm starting to like the Tyrone Tracy pick a little bit more. I'm starting to like the Theo Johnson even more. And then I'm trying to figure out exactly what Andrew Phillips is. And I already talked about that in another video. But I'm just thinking about this team and this roster and what it would take for the New York Giants to make the next step. And that's, you know, competing in the division, you know, possibly winning a divisional championship, and also ultimately getting to the playoffs. And after that, obviously the ultimate goal is to win Super Bowls. And I'm looking at the roster and I'm really trying to see or think about where I can see the New York Giants being in 2024, because I know what the long time or the long-term goal is. Obviously that's building a, you know, year in, year out competitor. But when I look at this roster, especially on the defensive side, I think that the New York Giants have a chance to be very, very good on defense. I wouldn't say top 10 or anything like that, but I can see the New York Giants being like top 15. Of course, a lot of things have to come together, especially in that secondary. A lot of young guys, a lot of new pieces. But also there's some guys that we brought in, some veterans, veterans now, that need to step up. And if these guys step up and pan out, again, I can see the New York Giants having that top 15 to top 20 type defense. And again, that's not a large jump, but for where we've been and where we've been ranked, I think that's a good start going into the 2024 season. Now, where we get into 2025, that's another story. I don't want to talk about 2025 too much right now because we just got out of the 2024 draft. Now, switching it over to the offense, just to touch on that a little bit, pause. we already know the elephant in the room is Daniel Jones. And I will say this, and I'll leave it alone. If Daniel Jones played up to his contract, not saying Daniel Jones is good or Daniel Jones is bad. If Daniel Jones played up to his contract, I don't think anybody would be feeling the way that they feel right now. You have people that do their utmost to defend Daniel Jones at every point. I make comments about something and they bring it back to Daniel Jones. It's on Twitter. And listen, I'm not even talking about Daniel Jones at the time. And then for the people that are fed up, because I won't say just hate Daniel Jones, some people are just fed up with Daniel Jones. They're tired of the New York Giants being bad, and they see Daniel Jones as a big part of what's wrong with the Giants. And you got the clashes between, but before I even get into that, I'm going to ask people a question, because I support the team no matter what. I am critical of players. I have a question for the New York Giants fans that feel like they need to defend Daniel Jones to the ends of the earth. One thing that you guys have said, and I used to be a defender of Daniel Jones, one thing that you guys have said is he's never had a wide receiver one. And when you think about this draft, I think everybody is in agreement that Malik Nabers is that wide receiver one that everybody has been asking for. So if you take that and you check that off as, okay, he's going to finally get to play with a wide receiver one. The only other thing that people are using to defend Daniel Jones is the offensive line play and getting some guys in here. Now, we didn't draft an offensive lineman at all in this draft. But what we did do, or what Joe Schoen did, was pick up some veteran free agents with a lot of not just experience, starting experience in the NFL. You know, guys that can fit the scheme, whatever that scheme is going to be, because we don't know entirely what it's going to be. Is it going to be the same as last year? Same blocking scheme? I don't know. I can't. That's one of the biggest question marks. I would hope that one of these beat writers, whether it be a guy like Pat Leonard, Jordan Renan, I wish somebody would be able to interview Carmen Bricillo. Now, we can ask Brian Dable the same questions, Mike Kafka the same questions, but I would love to see Carmen Bricillo get interviewed. If it's Dan Dugan, Ralph Vacchiano, again, Pat Leonard, like I said, Jordan Renan, Art Stapleton, Patricia Traynor, any of them. If it's Big Blue Kickoff Live, please get Carmen Bricillo in the building. Get him on a podcast. Get him in the spaces. I need to hear what exactly this blocking scheme is going to be. Is it going to be what we've been seeing, and we just hope that the teacher is teaching the students better when it comes to Bricillo, or are we absolutely changing up this scheme to fit the talent of the guys on the roster? And also, when is this team going to get settled in as far as who's going to be playing where? What ideas do they have for Evan Neal? Will Evan Neal start training camp, mini camp, whatever, as the right tackle, or is he getting kicked inside right away? I would love to hear from the new offensive line coach, and I think a lot of you guys would like to do that as well. But there's a lot of questions, man. Outside of the BS and the fighting and the arguing over the quarterback position, there's real questions about this team outside of that. Again, I just brought up one. The offensive line, the scheme, the blocking scheme for the offensive line, the defense, how people are going to fit in. You know, somebody asked the tough. We already know Brian Daboll will sidestep a lot of questions. We already know that. He's going to sidestep like crazy. Can you get Carmen Bricillo in the room? Can you get Shane Bowen in the room? Can we ask these guys some questions? Can I get Jerome Henderson in the room and ask some questions about both Andrew Phillips and Tyler Nubin? You know, these. What is his plan, or what's the plan for what's the linebacker's name? Isaiah. I can't even remember his last name now. I'm drawing a blank here. That's crazy. You guys know who I'm talking about. Number 19. But yeah, I'm just sitting here like, with everything that's going on, there's some real questions that need to be answered. And instead of all the craziness that's going on between the fans, and again, this is fan on fan crime, right? I would love to get some information from the people that are in the building, that being the coaches, about, some of the specifics. Obviously, you don't have to give away too much, but there's fans that really want to know, that watch these games closely, that that buy the all 22 access, that would like to know what's going on with this defense and what the plan. We don't want to wait to training camp to figure out what's going on. We don't want to wait for to find out some of these things once it's August or something like that. I want to know what these guys are thinking. But outside of that, man, it's in Theo Johnson. How does that affect Daniel Bellinger? I'm calling these guys like the new Twin Towers, no disrespect. Hopefully nobody's disrespected by me saying that, but you get what I mean. It's New York. You got guys that are the same size as far as the structure, both 6'5", 6'6", 255 plus pounds. That's what I'm gonna call them. And if you guys feel, a certain way about that, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll remove that nickname from those guys. I don't want to disrespect anybody. Me being from the East Coast, me being a witness to that tragedy so many years ago, I saw it. I saw it in person from New Jersey, but you know what it is. New Jersey is right. It's just right there. But I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about all the things that I would love to ask these guys, and I don't have the platform to get one of these guys, across from me to talk to me, things like that. I don't have that kind of pull. But there's some content creators that absolutely do, some beat writers that absolutely do, and hopefully they can make something like that happen. That's just me. And that's just me vibing again. This video wasn't about much, just some things I had on my mind. Hopefully you guys are messing with it. Just wanted to talk ball a little bit, talk about the state of the Giants a little bit. I really didn't get into details. Maybe I'll do that in another video. But yeah, man, there's some people out here, some fans out here that are ready to put some stuff to the side and pretty much dig in and figure out or try to get an idea about what the New York Giants are going to do in 2024. Again, expectations for me, my expectations are low. Last year, I was very, very optimistic at this time. This year, they got to prove everything to me, period. I'm not giving anybody the benefit of the doubt. I might say who I think is going to start and who I think is not going to start, rotational pieces and stuff like that. But as far as when it comes to wins and losses, we got the schedule coming up soon. I normally do like a wins and losses type of show. I don't know if I want to do that, man. I don't know, because I don't know what to expect when it comes to this New York Giants. When it comes to Daniel Jones, and Pat Leonard had a live stream a little bit earlier. One of the questions I asked him is like, do you think that Daniel Jones will even be ready, like for training camp? And he was like, he might be ready physically, cleared physically to throw, but when is Daniel Jones going to be actually right? When is he going to be able to trust his knee and be able to make those plays? And that's the biggest question. Me personally, I don't think he's going to be ready, but I saw Wan'Dale Robinson be ready. So I saw Daniel Jones get cleared 2 years ago with the whole neck thing. Or was that last year? I'm trying to think about it. But you never know with these type of injuries. But again, we're talking about the most important position in sports. The most important position in sports. And that's a big deal when it comes to the New York Giants. Because if he's not ready, who's going to be getting the snaps in training camp? Who's going to be building that chemistry with the new wide receivers, with the wide receivers, period? Malik Neighbors, Jalen Hyatt. You would assume it'd be Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito that are building that chemistry. And Daniel Jones, if he's not ready to go, missing out on a whole summer of being able to actually move around the way you need to move around and build that chemistry with these wide receivers, that's a setback already. He already is working with his back against the wall anyway. It's a rock and a hard place. But not being able to practice the way you want to practice and build that chemistry with the wide receivers in the summer like you normally would do, that's another thing that hurts me. And for me, I don't like punting seasons. I don't want to just punt 2024 and look at 2025. No. You signed Brian Burns. You signed Dexter Lawrence. You got Andrew Thomas. You drafted pretty well. You got guys that are coming up that should be, ready to blossom or get even better. Bobby Okereke, Can he build on the season that he had last year? You know, it's 2024 is not a punt for me. I'm not going to do that. It's not, in the words, and rest in peace to my man Pest, in the words of Pest when he said the season is free. No more free seasons. No more free seasons, man. The New York Giants have to prove that we are moving in the right direction. One good year where we went to the playoffs, one year that wasn't good at all, and now we're in year 3, and this is a big year for this regime. So that's going to be the video. I want to thank everybody for vibing with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And from one Giants fan to another, this is Big Dash Knows, Big Blue Nation. Let's go.